I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Welcome, Jesper Strange or Strange.
Strange? Yeah. It actually sounds a bit German, Strange, but I think I actually think it's Swedish.
But you live in
Denmark.
Denmark.
I am Danish, yeah.
You're Danish.
Yeah. I am Danish and I'm living in Denmark, yeah.
Yeah. But I love your name, Strange or Strange. It's like, all of us are strange. A stranger.
Yeah, and there is a character called Dr. Strange, and that could be me. So.
Okay, but we went into aligning what it will be the theme, and the theme for this podcast is simple and slow living, and like a pilgrimage of from the old to the new.
Yeah. Good. That is awesome. Yeah.
So, and you can start to explain why we speak about this topic, because you are, in some weeks you will go on a walk. Not for one day, but for some days.
For some days, yeah. Within, the 15th of August 2025, I will be locking my door and put on my backpack, and then I will start walking from where I'm living in Denmark to Istanbul in Turkey. And I don't have any plans. I don't know I know some of the path there, but and I have bought some GPS so I don't get that lost. But I don't have any plans on how long it will take and how I'm going to walk to Istanbul. The only thing that I have is a direction, like the end line is the Blue Mosque, I think it's called, in Istanbul, just to pick one. And but everything in between from where I'm living and to Istanbul, I don't know anything about. So, yeah.
So you will walk in the unknown.
I will definitely be walking in the unknown, yeah. Having said that, I will start here in Denmark, and just to be a bit of safe, I have chosen a route. I think it's called the ox route or the war route or something like that. It's a very ancient route that is actually connected from the north part of Jutland in Denmark to the Camino in Spain. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, a lot of different routes down in Germany and Switzerland and whenever. But there will be walking for 3 days until I am in Germany. So, 3 or 4 days. It depends. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we line up, you said that your intuition had said, you have to go for a walk, and you're okay, just a walk. We think very simple about that, but when you really went deep into it, it was like, not just an everyday walk. This is a. Can you say something about your listening to your intuition and leading up to this?
Can I say something about that? Yes.
The quiet voice that just wanted to do something.
It's so difficult because I don't know if it was my intuition. It was much more like I was called to do it.
But but being called and intuition.
Yeah. But intuition for me is more like an epiphany, like in the moment, like, oh, I have to go left or I have to go right. This here is so difficult to explain. It's a, it is like my body was in the beginning. It was whispering, Jesper, Jesper, go to Istanbul, go to Istanbul. And I said, no, I don't want to go to Istanbul. And then it said it louder, Jesper, go to Istanbul. No, I don't want to. I have a lot of things to do. And suddenly it just started shouting at me, and and uh, uh, um, and it was so loud in my head that I had to look at it and say, okay, perhaps I should go to Istanbul. And I remember that. And because I was standing in my bath, showering, and okay, perhaps I should go to Istanbul. But how do I do it? Like, of course, I know that walking is very simple, but it's much more. And then there came, okay, you are just asking for sponsors or donations. Okay. And then it was like a whole new world opened for me and said, okay, well, because that was my only limitation, the financial part of it. The funny thing about it is that I actually didn't get any particular sponsors, but um, it definitely opened up a world there that where I suddenly could see the possibilities of being able to walk to Istanbul. And I have previous in my life, I have had this calling for walking long paths, but never done it. But it was always in where I was in a crisis or crisis, like a kind of escape, you could say.
Yep.
But when this calling came to me here, I was, well, I am still in a pretty good place in life.
That's a big shift. It's a big because when you talk about calling, like we can also see it as a soul plan or a pre-plan because you are hacked into something bigger.
I had definitely hacked into something bigger than me, and you talking about soul, and I have this because this actually started for almost about a year ago, and I think it were in August or July last year, I got this feeling here. So it had taken me a year until now, and within this year here, it has like going from a thought to a calling to a soul yearning, you could say, like, oh, it's my soul. It is actually my soul that is going out on a walk. I know it is my body because we are living here on the earth here, but it is like, it's much more a soul walk. That's a very strange word, but
No, I don't think. And as you say, it was kind of a whisper. So who whisper? Yeah, it was kind of the soul whispering, "Go on a walk, go on a walk," because.
yeah, but to me, it was not something outside of me that was whispering.
I don't think the whispering it is outside. I think it's inside.
Yeah, and yeah, because it came from the inside. It came from whatever,
Yep.
and yeah,
And when you say that, because a lot of us communicate with the other realm, and when I communicate with the other realm, it is from the inside I communicate, so it's not from the outside. So I believe that everything happens from the inside, from the inner ear. The whispering is from the inner ear, and it feels like it comes from the essence.
yeah, exactly from the essence, and I have realized that I am I am the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Well, at least my universe.
Yeah.
Uh, so you could say that I am God.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and so I don't ask questions to something outside of me. I don't communicate with angels. I don't communicate with spirits, things like that. What I do is that I am being quiet, and within this quiet time, I can hear my soul talks, or whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but it's something that is talking from inside out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's bloody weird, but
Yeah, it is. And I have a good example because I was going every day. Almost every day I'm on the mountain hiking, and yesterday it was a lot of fog. So I just saw 1 meters ahead of me, and the area where I walk, it's new to me because I go from my workplace, so it is new mountains, and I was lost. So I just saw 1 meters ahead, and I didn't know where north was, not south, not west, anything. It's like I saw snow, I saw water, and it's like because I went almost on it before I saw it, and I had no clue. And then I said, "Help! I need help! I have no idea where I am." And I saw that the path I have walked was wrong. So, and I had no idea. And then I said, "Help me!" And you know what helped me? The birds. I started to communicate with the birds, and I said, "Okay," because they did it, and they said, "Okay, I will follow you." So I followed the birds, and after following them for like, where am I? Where am I? Then they lead me on the path and said, "Thank you." And when I came to the car, back to the car, I was almost 1 meters from the car when I saw it, and all where I have walked, because the last kilometers was kind of the same as I have walked before, but I couldn't recognize it because it was so different being in the fog.
yeah. it
So,
totally make sense. Yeah, yeah,
but the whispering, and it came as a bird.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it can be, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it totally make sense. Like, yeah. And perhaps I shouldn't have bought any GPS. I should just be listening to my surroundings.
Yeah, because I love this when this happened. It's like, oh, this, I love the trip I had yesterday, even though I used more time than I was supposed to. But just being in the unknown, because that was being in the unknown, and yeah, and actually I had no phone signal, so it was out of the phone signal, so I was totally in the unknown, and said, okay, what to do? Okay, ask for help, and then the bird started to communicate, and just listening to Mother Earth and nature, even though I was totally had no, and I said, I don't have any understanding where I am. I need guidance.
Yeah, and I remember this conversation here because the only thing, well, there are a few things that I'm afraid of during my walk. It is wolves, um, and it meeting a bear, um, because I am walking in areas where they will be. Um, but the most thing, or the most scary thing for me, is getting lost.
No, it's not scary.
No, but it is scary because that when I'm getting lost, I will I will be losing my control of the situation.
And what happens
So
then?
exactly. Um, but that is probably one of the things that is scaring me most, is like, oh, I have to stay on this path here that has been calculated by my computer, and I have to, because it is safe here. But what is actually happening? And it will happen. I know that because um, I am not particularly good at following a map. Um,
Yeah, and then I
so
will give you a challenge. Try to
yeah,
some days
exactly.
just put out the GPS and just,
Yeah,
okay, tune in and just,
yeah,
okay, because yeah, I had to do it all the trip, all the last half of the trip yesterday, and it was being in the unknown. I felt so much excitement. It's like, I was so happy being in the unknown, even though, yeah.
and I think that I will have excitement after I have dealt with all my anxiety. Oh no, what is happening? Oh fucking hell! So, but and that is just a part of the process.
Yeah.
Like, so and if I'm not buying into my anxiety about, oh, I'm lost, then I can be calm, and then I can start communicating with the birds, the earth, the cow, whatever. Yeah, and
Yeah, so you say it's so beautiful. It is a pilgrimage from the old to the new, where you meet your anxiety and integrate it, become friend with it, unite it, and kind of surrender the thought program that wants to control everything, and just go with the divine flow.
yeah, yeah, and that is also what I'm seeking in this um, path, or in this journey here, is to connect myself much more to the divine, whatever. Um, I just say that I just want to be, and that is the same thing. Like I just want to be present in what is. And for me, being present and being content is the most important things in life. And the moment that I remember I moved to Crete like 8 years ago, and I remember just right before I went home, a friend of mine, he was asking me, "Oh, Jesper, do we want to come to the secret beach?" Yeah, hell, do I want to come to the secret beach? I'm a Scorpio. I love everything that is mysterious. But and then we were driving to the secret beach. Apparently, the beach was not that secret because it was full of umbrellas and sunbeds. So it might not have been that secret. Um, but I remember me swimming in the ocean there, and suddenly I have this feeling of me being insignificant in the meaning of that there was no boundaries between me, the water, the birds, the sky, the mountains, Antonius on the beach. Uh, we were all connected, or we were this the same thing. I don't know if it makes sense, um, but in that moment there, I realized that, okay, I am everything. And in that moment, for probably the first time in life, I was so content and feeling so calm and quiet. And it was such a beautiful experience.
Yeah, so you describe unity consciousness. As I hear it. Okay, when I had one of these experience, one of the first time, or I had it before, but this was a big one, and it was in 2008, and I call it ecstasy because it was all the emotion. But when I have reflected deeper on it, it wasn't ecstasy; it was heart-centered symphony. So I have started to use the term. When I go to this unity consciousness, I have started to use, okay, I'm in my heart-centered symphony, because it's a symphony with everything.
Yeah.
And the same symphony, when my son committed suicide in 2015, 2 days after, or 1.5 day after he committed suicide, I went to the shower and was supposed to take off. I had cried for 1.5 day after he chose this. And then I went into the shower, and then he came. It's like, and I felt the same. And I know it's kind of crazy, but then I felt the unity consciousness, or the heart-centered symphony. He communicated with me, and all the emotion that I have had, the deepest, hardest, and the most brightest, because it was everything, and it was so enormous. So I fell down in the shower, and it's like communicated through my tears and with all the emotion at the same time. So it was kind of overwhelming, but it was the same as in 2008, being in this ecstasy. So this unity consciousness, I think everything can arise in this unity consciousness. It's all the specter on Mother Earth, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, and to me, it really shows that we are united. Everything, everybody, every species, everything on the earth, everything in the universe, but it is very difficult to understand if you are thinking a linear way, a logical way, because how am I going to be connected with, let me just say, my neighbor, but or the bird that is sitting outside now. But we are, to a certain extent, connected if we are willing to do it.
Yeah. We are invited.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people are not aware of it. So and that is totally fine.
Yeah, and as you said, if you are in the logical hierarchy, kind of, but I'm a non-logical, I'm no a non-linear person.
Well, and yeah, and I have spent my life very much being in a logical world.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
of us have been there.
Yeah. Well, I am in the logical world still, um, but now the more unlogical I am becoming, the more it's like there are two different worlds for me. There's my world, and there is the other world. And yesterday, I went to the shopping mall, which is the gateway to hell, if you ask me. But I had to go there, and I was there for 10, maybe 15 minutes. It was not that long. I just had to go and pick something up there. And when I left there, I was almost crying because it really hurt me so much being there on a soul level. Yeah. And so much unconsciousness, so much fake, so much we are dimming ourselves down by purchasing a lot of things that we don't need, or consuming bad food or alcohol and cigarettes, and and people may do exactly what I want to what they want to do. I am not telling people what to do, but I was almost crying, Ann-Peggy. I was almost crying when I was leaving there. And then I realized, really, okay, Jesper, you are living in your own world, and there are at least two worlds. There is the normal world, and then there's my world.
Well, I would put it differently, because I see that as the old world, the hellish world, and we are all invited into heaven on earth. This is the normal, so we are now going against normal. What have been? It is absurd. We have created hell on earth.
And exactly, the word absurd is perfect. And and it was definitely the old world, but I am living somehow in the old world, but I'm trying to stay in my own world.
In the new, the freshness, the new, the divine flow, and yeah.
And that also means that I am very aware of who I am around, who am I communicating with? Who am I giving my energy to? Who am I receiving energy from? And some days it works out perfect, and some days it doesn't work out perfect. So, but I have made some choices about that not having certain people in my life. So I have set up some boundaries and saying, you are not invited into my life. Some of them I can still talk with or talk to, but most of them I have been breaking up with, that I don't talk to anymore. So, and that is the path, one of the steps on my path, not only to Istanbul, but in life. Yeah.
But I think what you are describing, because I have one of the program is the Vinema Reset. And most of the people that come into the Vinema Reset, one of the first thing that happens in their life is that the old friends leaving them, because they are upgrading so much, going into heaven on earth and the freshness and what we are invited into. And some friends are jealous and they start pointing finger, and other ones join with. So that's what we are invited into. As you said, we are invited. We want to live in this hellish world because we have created the structure that we have. The old structure in this is hellish and facade and mask and corruption and all of this. And that has been the familiar for us. That is what we navigate through. But now we are invited into a new way of living. Heaven on earth.
Yeah.
And that's a total shift.
It is a total shift. And I think, well, regarding my journey to Istanbul, I have this idea, sense, whatever it is, that most of the people that I will be communicating with along the way, the people that I will be meeting, we will probably be more like-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah. And or probably not like-minded. It could be authentic.
Yeah.
Like let's say I'm meeting a farmer, a peasant in Bulgaria. I don't, and I might be wrong here, and it might be my perception, but I don't think that he might be particularly conscious in the spiritual way, but he might be so aware of his life and life in general, because his world is not that big. It might be to the village, and he might be authentic in the meaning of he has not been destroyed with all the social media or whatever. So that means that when I'm meeting him, I can let go of all my mask all my boundaries, and then we can meet authentically, like heart to heart, even though that we might not be able to communicate because my Bulgarian is very bad, I can tell you that. And I suppose that his Danish is very bad too. But when I was in Crete, I discovered I was in a party with, I was the only foreigner there. So people were, of course, speaking Greece, Crete, Greece. Yeah, yeah. Something that I didn't understand. But I was sitting there and I could communicate with them. And I energetically understood what they were talking about. And I could laugh in the right situations. And I could reply in English because they were speaking English, but I could listen to them and then I could reply in English. And it looked like that they understood me. And I guess that this same situation could happen with the peasant in Bulgaria, the farmer there, and we don't talk the same language, but since we are human beings, we will be able to talk the same language, even though that we are not talking the same language. So we can still communicate, even though that we are talking different languages.
I love that you say this because this is what I see we are upgrading to. Because what you describe is like using more of our senses and the energetic. So we tune into the energetic and we understand, we feel the energetic. So we can respond from our senses because we are attuned, even though we don't understand the wording. Because the wording is kind of scriptures but we feel, and then when we feel, we are attuned and we can respond from this. We are in the field with them.
Yeah, and also regarding to the being afraid of being lost, I have met a lot of people that are being afraid of not being able to communicate with the local people there. And I don't see that as a problem because, as I said, that if we are getting out of our fear, our anxiety, we can communicate. If it's the birds or if it's the peasant or if it's the air or whatever. So when we are becoming present in the present moment and we are willing to see what is, and in a non-judgmental way.
Important.
Yeah, very, very important actually. And I'm not expecting anything, but see what is. We don't need a GPS to find the path. We don't need a Google Translate to communicate, because everything that there is in the moment will be the right thing.
Yep.
And therefore, I think that when I'm talking to this Bulgarian guy or whenever, I also speak a bit of German. So in Germany and Poland, I think it will be okay. And most of the people are speaking English, but especially in the countryside of Bulgaria, I don't expect to be able to speak English. and not German. So what do? Well, I just sit there, and and uh, and I would just sit there or stand there together with the farmer and let him speak his language, and I will speak my language, and I will bet on that we will have a mutual conversation, and we will understand each other, but on a different level, not like in words.
I love what you are talking about, and the theme was kind of slow living. And if we see society and time, is there room for simple living or simple life in a fast world?
No. But you can create the room, and we are having, uh, at least from my perspective, um, well, I have spent the last 8 or 10 years on simplifying my life as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that is everything from people to items. So because that, to me, simple living is much more about being in what is. Um, and slow living is definitely about being in what is, without any judgment, without any expectations whatsoever.
And that is also important because we have so many subtle expectations.
Yeah, and so much mind chatter, and but if you want to get rid of your mind chatter, you have to be quiet,
Yeah.
and quietness is probably the most, I think, the most scary place for most people to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it opens up a space. Well, it opens a lot of spaces, but it opens up a space where you can feel yourself and feel, oh, there's something off in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that leads you to, well, then you have to make a choice. Do I want to feel off in my life? Yes, I want to. Then I just eating a hot dog, or else, no, I want to try something else. I don't know what that else is, but I will try something else.
Mm.
And um, and and slow living is not a quick fix.
No.
No.
But what I love that you said is like we have to create the room, and this is what you is kind of your offering. You have created room. You will walk. You don't know how long you will walk. You will be in the unknown, and this is kind of a slow and simpler life
To
unfolding.
me, it is the right thing to walk,
Yeah.
and 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 I am not doing my walks on how many kilometers am I doing today, and how fast am I going. To me, it is more important that it's going to be as slow as possible, and because I want to take in everything that is being shown to me, like the nature or whatever. And
So when you talk about creating rooms, as you describe, you do it through walking, and in 1 month I have created 10 months room. I will be in simpler and slower living in Lyngen. So I have rented a house for 10 months. I did it 5 months in the beginning. So you do it through walking. I do it to renting this house, and I know that a lot of things will unfold, and I will gather people there and ceremony, because I'm into ceremony and shamanism and all. So we do it creating room on our own terms. So how does creating room in your terms show up, and how does creating room in my terms show up?
yeah, and I think it's spot on what you're saying. It is about finding the way, our own way, our own room.
Yep.
Uh, for me, it is walking. For you, it is having a ceremony in Lyngen, and for others, it would be sailing or swimming or whatever. And
So what you're saying, simple and slow living, is kind of attuning to your inner guidance, the essence, and listen to your intuition, your calling, as you say, a higher calling. So it is kind of back to the basic, back to the normal. We say it's the old is normal, but it's back to the normal.
yes, yeah, because we are living in a unnormal world.
Yes.
We are not built to live in this pace that the world is at now. I remember many years ago, I heard something like it was the amount of input that we get every day. And this is 20 years ago, and it has just risen. But then the amount of input that we are getting every day is equivalent to what a farmer was getting in a whole year in the 1700. Yeah. So yeah. So having that in mind, no wonder that a lot of people are feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Because our mind or our brain has not developed since 1700. And
Yeah, it's hang up on fight on flight and fight and flight and this, yeah, all the time. We have so many. A lot of people have sleeping disorders. They can't sleep. They are so activated. It's like I cannot relax because.
and and well, I don't know about in Norway, but in Denmark, after the Corona thing, it has been very popular to go into the nature, to go for walks, right? And people are. There is a whole industry of being outdoor people now.
Yep.
And you can have opinions about that. I definitely have, but what I want to say about it is that the use of nature has changed from somewhere that we are connecting with, being in, to 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 be something that we are using.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So I am going on a hike, or I'm going in a shelter, or I'm just going in a forest because of something, because I'm stressed, or because I have to relax. It is not because it's beautiful. It is. It, so actually, we are using the nature instead of being with it.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned it, because it is the relationship we have. So,
Yeah,
as I described, when I was in the fog and didn't see anything, I became nature. I
yeah,
became the bird. I became the ocean. I became the snow. I became the fog. And becoming nature and say, okay, speak to it. Nature is speaking to us all the time. The relationship, we merged together. And then I
yeah,
was guided out of the fog, because I could be inside the fog for 10 hours or more, and it was cold. Being in the fog, it was a cold, yeah. So I didn't have so much clothes. So I started in the beginning, it's like, okay, I have heard about people being in it for so long, and it started to be cold, and I started to jog. But then I thought, okay, no, just become everything, communicate and center myself. We talk about, before we started, this sacred reciprocity, the sacred, you respond from your sacred place,
yeah,
and also connecting to the everything and nature. And then I just found peace and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it's so important what you say. The relationship we had, we just use,
yeah,
and not become, and know that nature is the biggest, almost the biggest healer that is on earth.
yeah. And it 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 actually has been. I was just thinking now. Nature has become the new shopping mall,
Yeah.
like in the sense of that, what can I get out of nature?
Yeah.
What can it bring to me? I am stressed. Nature heal me. Instead of communicating with it, being with it, nature can heal, yeah,
Yeah.
and is perfect, but you don't have to wear certain clothes in nature to be healed. You don't have to. I was actually reading a post the other day that a man wrote. He was going on his first walk ever. Okay. He had been out buying equipment for that walk for 8,000 Danish kroner, which is 1,200 euros or something like that. And that is totally ridiculous. And it is ridiculous in the meaning of you don't know if you like to walk. And what you actually just need for walking, well, you don't need it, but it's nice to have a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't actually need a pair of shoes. You can walk barefoot. Uh, but that is what you need. You don't need so much else.
No, and you are pointing at a perspective that is basic in the shamanistic way of thinking, and that's sacred reciprocity. Because we don't need all the stuff, but sacred reciprocity with nature, with everything in all existence.
Yeah,
And that's the foundation. It's like, okay, we can communicate with everything, and if we take from nature, we take from ourselves, because we see it as separate. So the
yeah,
sacred reciprocity is like, we are it all, and if we take and take advantage of, we actually do it to ourselves and our family, and yeah, we
yeah,
do it to
yeah,
ourselves. So the
yeah.
concept of sacred reciprocity, I think it's important to integrate in our life.
I totally agree. Yeah, yeah,
And I was also thinking, you will now go on a journey, and when you are back, or maybe in the end of it, I will connect with you, and you will have some deep insight and do another podcast, because I'm sure that this will do something with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what.
No.
And that is actually a very good thing, because I don't have any expectations. Well, I'm trying not to have any expectation, because I might sometimes also be a bit of a guy that likes to have a bit of control about things, but I'm trying to learn not to have too much control, too much expectations, and working on my just being there. So, but I would love to make another podcast with you when I am.
Wow. And thank you so much, Jesper Strange, for this podcast. And now you are about to go, and then we will see in half year, or we don't know. You are in the unknown, and the life will unfold. And what will unfold? You can share some deep wisdom with us from.
I will, and if I just may say that if your listeners would like to follow me, I have a Facebook group, and perhaps you can put a show note.
I will do it under the deep walk.
And there will be posting whenever it feels right about what I'm experiencing. I also call my journey a philosophical walk, or something like that, because well, it is a deep walk, deep in the meaning of that is going to be a soul walk. It is not going to be a hike, or just another walk, or just something that I'm crossing off my list because now I've been walking. It's going to be about the deep emotions too, and the deep thoughts about life. So if that resonates with anybody, they will be very welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesper. And I wish you all the best, and deep wisdom come true you.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for having me here.
Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another heaven on earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.